Come on, come in. Welcome.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Hello. Welcome. Ho, ho, ho. We should do some Father Christmas letters soon. My dog is very curious about me saying ho, ho, ho to everyone. What's up, Wes? Wes, come say hi to everyone. You're going to go in the other room, aren't you? Come here. He's like, no, I'll pass. What's going on, everyone? Michael, thank you for the $20 for Christmas. Also, I feel like I don't know any. I mean, some of the other chapters I was able to skirt by because the movies were kind of like close to the book, so I could fake some thumbnails. Now I don't know what these chapters are entailed. I don't know. There's no Steward and chapter movie or scene in the movie. Maybe there is. I don't know anything about this chapter, so we'll see. I feel like all my thumbnails from this point on are going to be all over the place. I don't know what I'm going to do for a thumbnail for the Scouring of the Shire, because that's just completely eliminated. Maybe I'll do a picture of, I don't know, are the Sackville Baggins is going to be in? Maybe I'll just do a picture of them. What's up, guys? My lighting is going to be all over the place today because it is a partially cloudy day, and those are the worst because it's going to be really sunny and then really cloudy and then really sunny and really cloudy. Anyway. I don't use other art because I like, if I use it for a thumbnail, I like to try to get permission for it, and that just takes too long rather than just grabbing a screenshot from a movie. That's a little quicker. This is not a short chapter, actually. This isn't that short. It is one of the longer ones in this specific book, in book 6. I think it's one of the 10 longest ones in this book. It's like an hour and 3 minutes on audiobook. I just checked. No, wait. Maybe. I think so. So it's not like crazy short, but it's not the longest. I also... it's actually kind of a long chapter. Not like long, but like somewhat. Thanks to the $5. You guys are killing me. Imagine if Mary actually dies at the end. I'll be devastated. There's no way he's gonna die. Come on. Yeah. No spoilers. I'm guessing the Scouring of the Shire thing is. I remember when Sauron showed him a vision, or no, and Galadriel showed him a vision in the Mirror of Galadriel. I'm guessing that's potentially the Scouring of the Shire. Maybe they just alluded to it there. I don't know. No spoilers, so don't even talk about that, guys. Knowing my style and preferences, the rest of the book is actually going to be my favorite. I'm pretty pumped. For the rest of the book. Again, I just keep saying this. I'm a little sad that the end of the book is coming though. But another quick note too. I only have finished half of the essays, less than half of the essays for the last chapter because I've been catching up on a bunch of other stuff. So, this is going to be the last chapter live read of the year. I'm not going to do one next week. We're going to take off next week and then potentially take off the week after that. But if I take off the week after that, then I would do like a midweek read or something like that. And part of the reason why I wanted to do that is just taking a break. Everyone has Christmas and everyone is like doing their own thing. And then in the new year, we'll kind of all get back on the same page. But also, I want to catch up on the essays. So this week, I'm going to do all the essays on the Field of Cromalin and then all the ones that I have of the Steward and the King. And then I want those to catch up to the actual pace of what we're reading at. Marginalia will happen. There's going to be 2 Marginalia this week. I'm thinking. I still have to do the Marginalia for the Mount Doom chapter. So I will do that one this week. Probably not tonight. I was thinking about tonight, but I kind of doubt it. Actually, maybe tonight. I have to figure out my schedule even last minute. You're here to just casually do some swooning. Swooning of Aragorn. So yeah, Marginalia is going to come potentially tonight, maybe. But for sure, at least 2 this week. Yeah, Yeah, no spoiling the Scouring of the Shire, because I don't really know anything that's going on. I feel like it has to do with Saruman. He kind of just disappeared out of the novel. But we'll see. Also, everyone liked the stream. You know the drill already. Come on. Everyone liked the stream. Man, this lighting is going to be so weird. I don't know what to do. It almost looks like it's going all cloudy in a second. Let me check the forecast. A little sunny. Just windy right now. That's it. We'll just put up with it. We're not gonna have great lighting this one. That's all right. I'm gonna actually turn it one brighter. Oh, that's darker. That's brighter. You try to follow the Pride and Prejudice streams and you can't keep up. Yeah, those ones. Honestly, there's no schedule for those. It's like literally like a few hours before I'm like, I can schedule or I can jump in, but or I can do a read, and I'm just going to decide to do a read. And it's like 2-3 hours beforehand. I haven't started A Song of Ice and Fire, but I've done Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and I really like it. It's a kind of a fun book so far. I actually really enjoy it. I don't know why people are swooning. I'm guessing Aragorn's in this chapter. That's probably why everyone's swooning. Mr. Darcy is about to get misspent. It's a really great novel so far. I'm actually really enjoying it. It's a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. Are we swooning at Faramir? We're probably swooning at Faramir. We can find out about the swoon. Yeah, wrong stream. Yeah, we'll talk about Pride and Prejudice on that stream. Yeah, if anybody wants to follow any of those channels, they're on that one is just First Timers Classics. If anyone wants to subscribe, I'm reading Pride and Prejudice right now. I'll probably plug that at the very end of the stream or something like that. Or as we go. Let me copy a link. My horn can pierce the sky. Anybody know what that's from? First Timers Classics. If you just go on the main First Timers page, you can find all the other ones. There it is. If anybody wants to subscribe because we're reading Pride and Prejudice, here is the link. Yeah, I threw a little Mistborn video up there because I'm rereading Mistborn. We got a lot of stuff going on. It's busy, but we got a lot of stuff going on right now. Which books are you doing actual reads, and which will you just be giving essays? For classics, I'm gonna do live reads of every classics that I can because they're all public domain, and you can do live reads of them without any problem. So I'm gonna do those for as many as I can. Some of them, I don't know. Some of them maybe they're just like more personal reads and just essay worthy. But that's the other channel. I don't know. I'm excited to just keep reading Tolkien. To be honest, I feel like nothing compares. I was thinking, yeah, The Office. Well done. Every once in a while I get that stuck in my head. Crossing the Streams. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped for The Hobbit too. I'm actually really curious. I am really, really curious because I think I'm going to talk about more like children's literature when I get to that. I have a few things that I'm going to do with children's literature that I want to talk about. But I'm really excited to talk about children's literature when I get to that. Discworld is coming. So I don't know my exact schedule. So I'll walk you guys through my mind for a second. And then I want to talk about something that I have in Lord of the Rings. And then we're going to get into the read. So like another 20 minutes. We always chill for the first, half hour to 2 hours. We always just chill. Imagine if we just chatted for 2 hours before we actually did it. So Michael Scott in Middle Earth? No, I haven't, but I would love to see that. Throw it on the Discord. So there's a few series that I'm going to get into that I haven't read. I haven't read Dune. I'm going to get into Dune. Haven't read Night of the Seven, or haven't read Song of Ice and Fire. I'm going to read that. Haven't read Discworld. Haven't read Narnia. I read Narnia, but I read it a long time ago and kind of forgot. So I'm going to do Narnia. I'm going to do Brandon Sanderson's stuff, Stormlight Archive. And I don't have like stuff set up for that, but I'm going to cross. Some of the channels are going to be cross. So like Ursula K. Le Guin and like C.S. Lewis are probably going to be on this channel if I ever do reads of their stuff. Discworld, I don't know. I don't know a thing about Discworld. So and then it's really long. So I don't know how I'm going to structure that. Some books, I don't know, and I don't know about some books. Some books are really essay worthy and some books aren't. Like, I really like Mistborn as a series, but there's not a ton of essays that I can write about that. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms kind of feels like the same. There's maybe a few more essays that I can write about. But for Tolkien, everything just seems like every sentence that I read, I'm like, oh, I have so much that I want to talk about this. But yeah, I'm going to do Discworld, and all those are going to come. So I'm going to, okay. Welcome to my confusing mind right now. This is what we're going to do. I am going to read the First Timers Classics is going to be like, not necessarily a book a month, but almost a classic a month. As I just, like, unless we read like the Count of Monte Cristo or like Anna Karenina, that might take us like 3 or 4 months. But that's going to be just like a book club. So if you want to join, that's going to be a book club where we just sit and chat about books. Eventually, like starting groups and doing actual book clubs with all those books would be lovely. That's like my goal. That will go on constantly. Lord of the Rings is probably going to go on pretty constantly too. Like, I'm going to start The Hobbit after I do this, after I read Lord of the Rings. And then when I do The Hobbit, the video essays on this channel will probably be like 4 to 5 video essays a week rather than the usual like 6 to 7. So I'll maybe drop it a smidge so that I can pick up another series like A Song of Ice and Fire and do some of that. And then I have another Harry Potter one that's just like, Harry Potter is like my jam. So I just talk about that. None of those, some of them are video essays. Some of them are just me chatting about things. It just depends. Yeah, the Earthsea is in there. Unseen Academicals. It's interesting. Yeah, Disc Read, I think it'd be really fun. I'm pretty pumped to do Disc Read or Discworld because I just don't know a single thing about it. We can call it the Disc Read. The Discworld, Disc Read. Yeah, it's all discombobulated. Everything's all over the place. But it's just fun. We just get to read. I'm kind of pumped. This is like my goal, just to start like a bunch of book clubs. Right? We all just kind of chill and read and nerd out about good literature. Yeah, I kind of feel like that too. Like, Mistborn is a nice story, and it's like really fun. And like the end of the story, you're like, oh my gosh, that was so cool. I want to reread it because I want to see all the stuff that I missed. But it's not like unbelievably deep. It's a good story though. I was thinking about it on my walk today. I was like, he's a really good storyteller. He's a very good storyteller. He knows how to build a world decently well, not as, but I think he's a good storyteller. We're not going to start the read yet because I still want to talk about something with Aragorn before we jump into it. Because I was writing an essay about this morning and I just want to chat about it for a second. Yeah, I hear Stormlight Archive should give me a bit more. I think it's a bit more deep for some of his. Sean Astin is in the Color of Magic movies. Interesting. Yeah, foreshadowing with Sanderson, he's very, very good at that. I was reading it and like he just hints at a bunch of stuff early on or rereading it. The book is so short you could easily read 2 chapters in a single stream. That's interesting. I probably still will do 1 per stream just because I like the pace of one. And then it might not, maybe we'll do like multiple streams a week or something like that. I don't know how long the chapters are. We'd have to figure that out. I'm really excited to read The Hobbit though, because I really love good children's literature. Ooh, listening during a 2-hour cross-country ski trip in Minnesota. That sounds so fun. I love that you're going to listen during that too. That is so cool. Anna, enjoy that. I love cross-country skiing. I haven't gone in a long time, but it's fun. No, that's not really a spoiler. Just knowing the lengths of the chapters, it's all right. Interesting. Yeah, I like Sanderson just as like a fun storyteller. Like, I think his books, like the videos that I make for Sanderson are just like me sitting there chatting about like the plot of it and like just the fun of it. It's not me getting into like the depth of his writing or talking about like the themes that he's weaving throughout the whole book. There are some interesting themes that he pops up every once in a while, but like he will write an interesting sentence once every few chapters where like a character will have something really philosophical to say or like something interesting. But it's interesting. But I do think the larger theme of his books, like he has one theme that he weaves throughout that is really interesting. It's not like a Tolkien. So we'll see. That's actually so fun that his writing improves from the beginning to the end of that. Discworld doesn't have chapters? Yeah, everyone, Nemo, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Everyone, if you are into Mistborn or you're into like Brandon Sanderson, go check out Nemo's Myth Mavens channel. It's him and Roman, and they're just chatting about a really interesting, like Roman's reading it for the first time. And that's like my favorite thing. I just love living vicariously through people who read stuff for the first time. So it's just fun to like see people's thoughts and feelings as you read a book. And they're just kind of chatting about it. And they're doing some other stuff. They're doing some Percy Jackson, reviewing some of that. I hope they get into more Brandon Sanderson because they're just fun. But Discworld, that's interesting. It has no chapters. I'm very curious about that. There's a bunch of other series that I want to get into. I want to get into Foundation. We're going to do a sci-fi probably channel eventually. Yeah, everyone like the stream. Come on. What's the deal? Not traditionally numbered chapters. They're page breaks. Okay, that's all right. I could deal with some page breaks then. Yeah, everyone, come on. Like the stream. So I don't have to keep yapping and saying like the stream. There's another series. Michael, you were telling me about another series. Lonesome Dove, maybe? I've been seeing more stuff on that. I don't know where. Like material? I feel like some people have been talking about that book on YouTube or social media or something like that. So I'll probably get into that. There's a bunch of other stuff. The Quick Duck, yeah. The Quick Duck and the Lonesome Dove. Yeah, American mythology. That sounds so fun and fascinating to me. I'm going to be into that. Yeah, there's a bunch of other like more popular series that I'll get into. Yeah. So let's do this real quick before we just jump into the read. One more question that we can just chat about, and then I want to talk about something with Aragorn, and then we'll read. It won't take that long, promise. Don't read Akotar. Okay, excellent. That wasn't on my list, to be honest. Also, what's up, Danila? That wasn't on my list, but good to know. If you guys had to rank the top 3 works of pop fantasy or just fantasy? Fantasy and sci-fi. Let's just add all fantasy and sci-fi. Other than anything in Lord of the Rings. You cannot put Lord of the Rings in that. Give me your top 3. So Lord of the Rings is not included in that. I also hear Foundation is a great series on Apple TV. You can't put anything that J.R. Tolkien has written. You only read 2? Oh, you're like, oh, that's super simple then. Late of First Men, The Hobbit, The Silmarillion. No. I meant instead of Lord of the Rings, you can't do anything for that Tolkien has written. Berserk, Dark Souls, Elden Ring is an actual book. I didn't know it was a book. Stormlight, we close to the top. I love that. I am excited to do Stormlight. Olaf Stapledon, Star Maker. Yeah, I knew it was a game. I hear the lore in that game is actually pretty crazy. Foundation is a trilogy. Discworld, The Culture, and Caiaphas Cain. Interesting. Well, no. This isn't ranking necessarily. This is just going to be your top 3, which is kind of ranking, but no, definitely not discriminating against games. Some games have great world building to them. Ooh, Hitchhiker's Guide. I'll definitely do that one too. Solaris, Wheel of Time, The Witcher. The Witcher, people keep wanting me to read The Witcher too. Swords Point. Mythologies, Song of Ice and Fire. Ender's Game. Definitely do Ender's Game. Ender's Game would be fun. Hunger Games would kind of be fun too. I don't think the rating's that great. I struggle with the rating, but we got to try it. Give it a shot. Hitchhikers is fun. Chronicles of Narnia. We'll do the Chronicles of Narnia for sure. Mary Stewart's Merlins. Interesting. Only thing that's come close to Tolkien. Interesting. Love that. Yeah, C.S. Lewis' Space Trilogy too. Definitely will do that. Left Hand of Darkness. Bulgarian Narnia Queen's Thief. Yeah, it is kind of hard to do like a crossover between fantasy and sci-fi. My friend used to devour the Halo books. He loved them. He would always have a Halo book in his hands. I have heard N.K. Jemisin is pretty good too. I don't know anything about them though. Yeah, Ursula for sure. We'll definitely read Ursula. Earthy. Bulgarian. Yeah, there's not like a ton of works that are absolutely groundbreaking, but there's some good ones out there. Yeah, Percy Jackson is really fun. I read the first 2. I need to actually keep reading through that series. The first 2 were really fun. I finished the second one, and it ends on such a cliffhanger, and then I just didn't finished reading it, which is crazy to me. Star Wars books by Timothy Zahn. Interesting. Bulgarian is specifically just a trope fest. That's not the worst thing. Sometimes, actually, I struggle with some of those books, to be honest. Left-Handed Darkness. Victor Crumb. Victor Crumb. The Bulgarian. That's the Bulgarian. Come on. Yep, I've heard there's a lot of really great Star Wars, like Heir to the Empire and all that good other stuff. I have heard of George MacDonald. He's a poet. He's primarily a poet. Yeah, Nemo. I will probably take you up on that whenever I read Percy Jackson. The Historian, interesting. Okay. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to read. George MacDonald could be really fun, but I don't know much about it. American Gods. It's like Percy Jackson for adults. That's what's his name? You know who I mean. Neil Gaiman, right? Old Sherlock novellas. Ooh, that would kind of be fun to do some Sherlock stuff. Some mystery stuff. MacDonald was important for the influence on Tolkien. Interesting. A Wrinkle in Time. We'll definitely do the Wrinkle in Time. What is any Ted Lasso fans here? Ted Lasso gives Roy Kent a book because he wants him to be a leader, and the book is about a young girl struggling with the burden of leadership. What's that book? Ted Lasso is so great. Ted Lasso is one of the greatest TV series that's ever come out in the last 20 years. Maybe even of all time. I think it's A Wrinkle in Time. Yeah, the book is A Wrinkle in Time. Oh, I need to read that too. I want to read that just because it's on Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is so good. The Dark is Rising by Susan Cooper. Interesting. Okay. We got a bunch of stuff we got to read now. You guys just added like 10 years onto my reading life. Naomi Novak. All right, so I got a bunch of good reads now. But here's my other thing that I want to talk about before we get into the reading. And I want to talk about Aragorn just for a quick second, for how incredible Aragorn really is. I was writing an essay about this morning, and I need to like fine tune it because I am struggling to find the words or like paste the essay or whatever. But so it's the trope of a reluctant king, and like I'm kind of basing the whole essay based off of this. Oh, you have to watch Ted Lasso. I can't save these YouTube chats, but they'll pop up like 24 hours, usually less than 24 hours after, if you just rewatch the stream and just go back to this section and just click live, click a view live chat. All these recommendations will pop up. So now you got a lot of good recommendations. And I was writing an essay this morning about how like my journey with Aragorn, but also the idea of the reluctant king versus Aragorn in the books, who is just like Lord of the Rings makes me not care that much for reluctant leaders. Like there's all these series. I'm thinking about this a lot because I just watched episode 3 and 4 of Game of Thrones season 8 with my buddy who's watching it for the first time. And this is when Daenerys is kind of going off the rails. And Viserys, what's his name? Yeah, Viserys and Tyrion are having a conversation, and they're like, Jon Snow deserves to be king because he doesn't want to be king. And I keep thinking about that, and I'm like, there's one of the biggest tropes for leadership in books and movies and TV is the king that doesn't want to be king ends up becoming the best king. But I'm thinking sometimes that's not really. I feel like Tolkien is so non-trope. Varys, yeah, not Viserys, yeah, Varys. Thank you. I feel like Tolkien is so non-tropish. Like he doesn't care about this, and maybe the reluctant king wasn't necessarily a thing during his time, but I'd much rather follow Aragorn into battle than like a Jon Snow into battle. Because Aragorn makes all the right decisions. Like everything that he does, he deserves to be king not because he's a reluctant king and because he doesn't want it, because he actually does, because he would be a phenomenal king and because he does everything right individually in his own personal life. Like, he has such integrity that he just does everything right. And I still like the idea of the reluctant king, but it's just not like, I'd rather follow Aragorn than I would someone who's just like a reluctant king. I don't know. Yeah, Aragorn was groomed to be king. Jon was the furthest from that. That's kind of true. Yeah, he's not reluctant, but he's humble. Absolutely. That's a good qualifier. And Book Aragorn, like, all the decisions that he makes are just so lovely to me. Like the hands of the king. Yeah, hands of the king are the hands of a healer. He heals people. He doesn't enter into Minas Tirith. Like, especially the last chapter when he like doesn't go into Minas Tirith before the hobbits are awake and before he knows that they're okay. Like, that is so lovely to me. John of this channel. But yeah. Book John really does want to be king or Lord of Winterfell. Interesting. I'm really excited to read the books to see all the differences. Yeah, a good king wants to rule but doesn't covet power. That is actually a great line. It's not. I was thinking about that too. It's not necessarily like it's not the idea of like a reluctant king can be a great king, but there is a difference between someone wanting to be a leader or a king because they just want power and they just want to make decisions versus someone who wants to rule because they know they can change things and make things better and make things good. Like, I kind of love that. Channel, we're going to read in a second. All right. We'll start in 4 minutes. All right. Yeah, we were chatting for a half hour. We'll start in 4 minutes just to officially make it a half an hour. So the hands of that's the chapter where he's like the pick me person. I still think to some extent he is that in his dealings with Éowyn. But I think people say that this chapter is going to change my perspective, the steward and the king. So we'll see when we get there. I still think that section of Lord of the Rings was still really interesting to me because he just seemed like the conversation that they were having about Éowyn was just, I don't know. I gotta reread that. It's just was a little off-putting to me, but yeah, so I got to finish this chapter and then we'll talk about if he's a pick-me person or not. Yost. I love that you DM'd for the first time. That's awesome. Pumped. That's great. We'll get into some D&D too whenever I finish this read. I know, everyone is losing their mind. But I want to say this too. This is the last thing I'll say before we actually start the read. I still think that some of you guys are more biased than me because I've seen the movies, obviously. Some of you guys know the end of the story, so you know you can base your entire perception of a character based on the entirety of the story. And I think sometimes if you know the story for a really long time, it's hard to pick up isolated incidents like that because you know his motives and you know he's like good and you know like that's okay. And for me as a first-time reader, I think Tolkien is actually putting things in there for first-time readers, obviously for first-time readers, but for people who don't know the full backstory, so that when you know it, you can go back and read that. But also, when you're reading it for the first time, I think he's trying to purposely misdirect you to some degree to think differently of a character. And then when it's revealed, you're like, oh, wait, that character did actually this, and the real motivation for it. But the whole time you're thinking, oh, Aragorn did something weird there. Not saying specifically Aragorn, but like in the first book, I wrote the essay, or I didn't write the essay, but Aragorn was not my favorite favorite character. I didn't like him that much. And everyone was so mad at me for not having Aragorn be my favorite character. And I don't think he does that much in the first book. He's strange in the first book. But in the third book, in the fourth book, in the fifth book, and the sixth book, he just keeps on getting better. Michael, thank you for the $5. Éowyn's arc doesn't finish till next chapter. Wait till next chapter before talking more about Éowyn. Okay, excellent. Will do. Anyway, just wanted to say that. Now, We're going to start to read. Wait, recently discovered the channel and binge watched the videos. I love that. Thank you. Imadawan. Thank you. I appreciate that. You have a check mark next to your name. Are you like a big deal? I'm glad you're a Lord of the Rings fan. I'm glad that you binge watched the videos because there's a lot of them. Wait, why is live reading both a curse and a boon? I don't know. Anyway, let's begin by reading The Steward and the King. This is chapter 5. Ugh. Every chapter that goes by, it kind of hurts me a little bit. I don't want to end. I don't want this to end. Well, let me check text real quick. My mom's texting me. Okay. Let's begin. I got my pencil. My pencil needs a little sharpening. I love a sharp pencil. Hate a dull pencil. Actually, I don't like a super sharp pencil. I kind of like a little sharp pencil. All right, it's 1:50. I said we were going to start reading. Let's start reading. This is The Steward and the King. I need water. I should have gotten water. Everyone, give me 2 minutes to get water real quick because I just want water. Sorry. I promise you we'll read immediately when I get back. Give me a second. Now we're good. All right. Sorry. Do not love the pencil for its sharpness. I don't have a goblet. No, I don't have a goblet. I'm not like Danny where I don't drink out of my goblet. I just have water, a little, what are those called? Glass. I have a glass of water. The Steward and the King, chapter 5. Over the city of Gondor, doubt and great dread had hung. I'm guessing that's Minas Tirith. The city of Gondor is Minas Tirith. Has to be. Unless there's like a bigger city other than Minas Tirith. Fair weather and clear sun had seemed but a mockery to men, whose days held little hope, and who looked each morning for news of doom. Their lord was dead and burned. Dead lay the king of Rohan in their citadel. And the new king that had come to them in the night was gone again to a war with powers too dark and terrible for any might or valor to conquer. And no news came. After the host left Morgul Vale and took the northward road beneath the shadow of the mountain, no messenger had returned, nor any rumor of what was passing in the brooding east. I love that we're getting this this perspective. Like, it's going back to the people who are still in the city. That has to be a hopeless feeling. Like, you see, man, it's interesting. When the captains were but 2 days gone, the Lady Eowyn bade the woman who tended her to bring her raiment, and she would not be gainsaid, but rose, and when they had clothed her and set her arm in a sling of linen, she went to the warden of the houses of healing. Sir, she said, I am in great unrest. I cannot lie longer in sloth. Lady, he answered, you are not yet healed, and I was commanded to tend you with especial care. You should not have risen from your bed for 7 days yet, or so I was bidden. I beg you to go back. I am healed, she said. Healed at least in body, save my left arm, and that is at ease. But I shall sicken anew if there is naught that I can do. Are there no tidings of war? The women can tell me nothing. There are no tidings, said the warden, save that the lords have ridden to Morgul Vale, and men say that the new captain of the north is their chief. A great lord is he, and a healer. And that is a thing passing strange to me, that the healing hand should also wield a sword. It is not thus in Gondor now, though once it was so, if old tales be true. But for long years we healers have sought only to patch the rents made by the men of swords, though we should still have enough to do without them. The world is full of hurts and mischances, without wars to multiply them. This is interesting for Eowyn, and it's interesting that they before they left, Aragorn is like, she needs to be in bed for whatever 7 days, or 7 days from then. I wonder if that was Aragorn's command or what. I love that she's a little stir crazy. That is very in line with her character. I don't think she would like. Ooh, date night. Enjoy, Blues. I like that she's up and about. It is in line with her character. She can't just sit still. I'm really curious about Eowyn in this chapter, what it's going to say. She avoided the medical costs. That is also an interesting line, where like a great lord is that, and a healer, and that it is a thing passing strange to me that the healing hand should also wield a sword. That's not in Gondor, though once was said, if old tales be true. For long years we healers have sought only to patch the rents made by the men of swords, though we should still have enough to do without them. The world is full of hurts and mischance, without wars to multiply them. It needs but one foe to breed war, not two. Master Warden, answered Eowyn. And those who have not swords can still die upon them. Would you have the folk of Gondor gather you herbs only, when the Dark Lord gathers armies? And it is not always good to be healed in body, nor is it always evil to die in battle, even in bitter pain. Were I permitted in this dark hour, I would choose the latter. Yeah, we know that, Eowyn. Not everyone is like you, though. Eowyn's such a tomboy. And it is not always good to be healed in body, nor is it always evil to die in battle, even in bitter pain. That's an interesting thing that she says. Yeah, she's not like other girls. That's an interesting thing that she says, because she's choosing the mind over the body. She would rather be whole in the mind and broken. That's interesting. The warden looked at her. Tall she stood there, her eyes bright in her white face, her hand clenched as she turned and gazed out of his window that opened to the east. He sighed and shook his head. After a pause, she turned to him again. Is there no deed to do, she said. Who commands in this city? I do not know. I do not rightly know, he answered. Such things are not my care. There is a marshal over the riders of Rohan, and the Lord Hurin, I am told, commands the men of Gondor. But the Lord Faramir is by right the steward of the city. Where can I find him? In this house, lady. He was sorely hurt, but is now set again on the way to health. But I do not know. Will you not bring me to him? Then you will know. The warden feels like a typical medical worker who just wants his patients to get healed, and Eowyn is like Get me out of this bed. And he's like, can I just do my job? I just want you to be healed, and you're still not fully healed, so just sit in bed. And she's like, no, bring me to Faramir. I feel like anyone who works in the medical field probably gets this on a very basic level. Yeah, the warden's just trying to do his job. Yeah, the copay on Morgul care. Awen is not an ent. Yeah, Awen is like the I Googled it patient. I know what's wrong with me. But she's even different. She's like, she's pissed that she's there. She's pissed that her family even brought her there. She's like, I would have rather died in battle, which she definitely would have. But Awen, we're glad that you're alive. For everyone else's sake, we're glad that you're alive. The Lord Faramir was walking alone in the garden of the Houses of Healing, and the sunlight warmed him, and he felt life run new in his veins, but his heart was heavy, and he looked out over the walls eastward. And coming, the warden spoke his name, and he turned and saw the lady Eowyn of Rohan, and he was moved with pity, for he saw that she was hurt, and his clear sight perceived her sorrow and unrest. Oh, they're going to be perfect for each other. Faramir's going to like even her out a little bit. Maybe Eowyn will ramp him up a little bit. The Lord Faramir was walking alone in the garden of the Houses of Healing. And this, I just read the paragraph. My lord, said the warden, here is the lady Eowyn of Rohan. She rode with the king and was sorely hurt, and dwells now in my keeping. But she is not content. And she wishes to speak to the steward of the city. That's a great passive aggressive way to say she's not paying attention to me and she's not listening to me. She's not content. She just wants to talk to you. It is tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me. Yeah, Tolkien and romance. I'm excited if this is like a little bit of a romance chapter. Let's keep reading. Do not misunderstand him, Lord, said Eowyn. It is not lack of care that grieves me. No houses could be fair for those who desire to be healed, but I cannot lie in sloth. Idle, caged, I look for death in battle, but I have not died, and battle still goes on. Whoa! She's a Karen? She's kind of a Karen? All right, first essay, Eowyn is a Karen. Oh, no! Guys, this is devastating. The end of the chapter gives me no space to write all my essays. The next chapter starts here, so I'm going to have to write all my essays on the top of that little space right there. That's devastating. Ugh, that's annoying. All right, 1 second, everyone. I have a feeling I do need sticky notes, to be honest. She is a princess, but that is a serious thing to say. And I've argued this before to some extent, but she really does not know what she's asking. There is the line, this isn't said in the books, but I do think this is a good depiction in the movies. When Eowyn is talking with Éomer, and in the movies, Éomer is like, they're talking about Merry, and she goes, why cannot Merry fight for those he loves? And then Éomer is like, when the fear grips him, when like the violence grips him. he's not going to be able to like do anything. I forgot exactly what that line was. And I feel like she is kind of this. Although she is a warrior, and though she's like, she was very fearless in battle, her idea of looking for death in battle is, I don't know the word for it. I don't want to say too dramatic because it is a little melodramatic. But I don't know. I got to think about that one. I don't know what to write about it, but I definitely want to write about this. She's too angsty. That's not exactly it either. And I think Faramir is going to really even her out. At a sign from Faramir, the warden bowed and departed. "What would you have me do, lady?" said Faramir. Oh, that line. "What would you have me do, lady?" is the same line that she says in the movie. Sorry, I won't remind you of Jackson. We'll not talk about the movie from this point on. And points for correct usage of Faye. Yeah, like teenage angsty, honestly, because she is kind of still young. I mean, like, again, I really have sympathy for her. She's one of my favorite characters. She's one of the more complicated characters here, but she just is teenage angst mixed with being abused in her life, being neglected in her life, not really having a life. I mean, like, it's an understood angst. "What would you have me do, lady?" said Faramir. "I also am a prisoner of the healers." I love that. He looked at her, and being a man whom pity deeply stirred, it seemed to him that her loveliness amid her grief would pierce his heart. And she looked at him and saw the grave tenderness in her eyes, and yet knew, for she was bred among men of war, that here was one whom no riders of the mark would outmatch in battle. Oh, dang. That's actually kind of crazy. That's a great paragraph. And she looked at him and saw the grave tenderness in his eyes, and yet knew, for she was bred among men of war, that here was one whom no rider of the mark would outmatch in battle. Hold on, I got a sneeze coming. Is it going to hit? Blues, we'll see you later. Enjoy the date night. No, sneeze is not coming. I'll chat with you in Marginalia. Oh, man, there's like a sneeze that just is lingering in the back of my nose right now. Sorry. He's trying to riz her up. I don't know. I don't think so. Not right now, at least. I think he might be just immediately attracted to her. He's like, ooh, a warrior princess. "What do you wish?" he said again. "If it lies in my power, I will do it." I would have you command this warden. And bid him let me go," she said. But though her words were still proud, her heart faltered. For the first time, she doubted herself. She guessed that this tall man, both stern and gentle, might think her merely wayward, like a child that has not the firmness of mind to go on a dull task to the end. She's insecure. I myself am in the warden's keeping," answered Faramir. "Nor have I yet taken up my authority in this city. But had I done so, I should still listen to his counsel." Yes! Thank you, Faramir! "And should not cross his will in matters of his craft, unless in some great need." Back where the warrior is, or where the warden is just sitting, listening to this conversation, the warrior is like, yes, I get to do my job. And I love Eowyn. She's an interesting character because, again, she's like been through maybe the most of any character in this novel right now. But the one thing that she lacks, which is really interesting that she lacks this, is humility. Maybe. She has traces of it in certain moments in the series. Yeah, not warrior. Warden, sorry. Willful is maybe a better word for it. Because she does have humility. She's very proper with how she addresses people. Yeah, just lacks maturity a little bit. Yeah, Mike, it's an interesting point too. And she would have really loved to die in battle. She's just a complicated character. I like that. I feel like J.R.R. Tolkien wrote the most complicated character to be a female because he probably understood females are maybe a little more complicated than men. Maybe. I myself, hold on. But I do not desire healing, she said. I wish to ride to war like my brother Éomer. Or better, like Théoden the king, for he died and has both honor and peace. How many days after Aragorn left the city? Was it 2 days after that? What did it say? Did it say how many days from when Aragorn left? Is she trying to catch up to them, or is she just going to try to meet any orcs in battle and just die? According to rumor, Tolkien doesn't write women well. I vehemently disagree with that because I think Éowyn is one of the most interesting people in all of literature. It says the days, just keep reading. Okay. It's just one big weird read and find out. It is too late, lady, to follow the captains. Okay, so there you go. I just need to read. Even if you had the strength, said Faramir. But death in battle may come to us all, yet, willing or unwilling. You will be better prepared to face it in your own manner. If while there is still time, you do as the healer commanded. You and I, we must endure with patience the hours of waiting. Yeah. She did not answer, but as he looked at her, it seemed to him that something in her softened, as though a bitter frost were yielding at the first faint presage of spring. A tear sprang in her eyes and fell down her cheek, like a glistening raindrop. Her proud head drooped a little. Then quietly, more as if speaking to herself than to him. But the healers would have me lie abed 7 days yet, she said, and my window does not look eastward. Her voice was now that of a maiden, young and sad. I love her. Don't read and find out. You just give her an east window. I feel so bad for her. Like, this is going to be like the emotional relief that she needs. She needs a good cry. Oh man, I just feel so bad for her. Faramir smiled, though his heart was filled with pity. Your window does not look eastward, he said. That can be amended. And this I will command the warden. If you will stay in this house in our care, lady, and take your rest, then you shall walk in this garden in the sun, as you will. And you shall look east, whither all our hopes have gone. And here you will find me. Walking and waiting, and also looking east. Ah, that's so good. Spin a little game. That is so funny. He just sneaks that in there. It would ease my care if you would speak to me or walk at whiles with me. That is so cute. He's like, okay, for sure, we'll help you. You can walk anywhere you want. You can walk in this garden as long as you want. By the way, I'm going to be walking here too. That is so cute. Then she raised her head and looked him in the eyes again, and the color came in her pale face. How should I ease your care, my lord? She said. And I do not desire the speech of living men. Oh. Oh. That line hurts so much. I do not desire the speech of living men. Oakleaf, that's a great point. That's the same as me. Like, if you're in these situations, you want to at least feel like you're useful in some way, and she doesn't. But she's a little bit more than that. I don't know how Faramir is going to answer and respond to this, so I'm really interested to see. Wait, let me just finish this little section. There's like 2 more paragraphs. Would you have my plain answer? He said. I would. Then, Eowyn of Rohan, I say to you that you are beautiful. In the hills, in the valley of our hills, there are flowers fair and bright, and maidens fairer still. But neither flower nor lady have I seen till now in Gondor so lovely and so sorrowful. And maybe that only a few days are left ere darkness falls upon our world, and when it comes I hope to face it steadily. But it would ease my heart, if while the sun shines yet, I could still see you. For you and I both passed under the wings of the shadow, and the same hand drew us back. I want to talk about that. Alas, not me, Lord, she said. Shadow lies on me still. Look not to me for healing. I am a shield maiden. My hand is ungentle. But I thank you for this at least, that I need not keep to my chamber. I will walk abroad by the grace of the steward of the city. And she did him a curtsy and walked back to the house. But Faramir for a long while walked alone in the garden, and his glance now strayed rather to the house than to the eastward walls. Okay, so he has a big crush. I'm a little bummed at his response here. Because they are on such different lines for what they want and what they're looking for. And Faramir has a very typical response. Everyone would respond to some extent like this. But Faramir is like, I want to take a walk with you, and I want to get to know you more. Maybe this is actually the best response, because right now, Eowyn, this line crushes me that Eowyn said, how should I ease your care, my lord? She said, and I do not desire the speech of living men. So she's like, I want to go die. I want to go to battle, and I want to die so I can see Théoden. And Aragorn's like, or Faramir's like, I have a crush on you. And I think potentially Faramir's response is actually a good thing, but it's a struggle for me at the moment because he's like seeing her, but like not addressing what she really wants right now. I was hoping that he was going to come out with some wisdom about how she just needs to have patience or whatever it was. It was going to be like some revolutionary wisdom, because Faramir is always dispensing that. But here, maybe what Faramir says is really good, because he is like, you want to go to see dead people because you feel like you have nothing left here on earth. I think you are valuable, and I think you're beautiful, and I wanted to get to know you. Okay, this is a read and find out. I'm still just chatting about this, because we got to just chat about this kind of stuff. Because it seems like she just wants to go back to meet like Théoden, potentially. It's such she's such a complicated, interesting character, because like I understand her, because it's at the same point Théoden, I'm gonna over generalize here. I know, guys. I know. I'll read and find out in a second. No bans for anyone who says read and find out. That's the theme of this. So she's so complicated because Théoden essentially ruined her life. That's the overgeneralized statement. He didn't, obviously. He loves Éowyn more than anyone else, and she loves Théoden maybe more than anyone else. But in a sense, she probably has a little bit of a right to be not bitter and frustrated at Théoden, but at the situation, because she was essentially made to take care of Théoden, and she hated that. And I know Wormtongue is obviously the main one, but I'm saying she could probably harbor some ill feelings toward Théoden to some extent, like just some frustration and angst. Like, but at this point, she it doesn't seem like she does, which is a really actual mature thing of her to think. Oakley, that's such a good point, and that's why I think what Faramir says is actually somewhat good. In that she's dealing with something where she's like, I don't think it's necessarily that she doesn't see her own worth. Although I think part of it is that I think she just doesn't want to be on this earth anymore. And maybe that really is wrapped up in her self-worth. But she just is sick. It's almost like she's sick of fighting. So because she's sick of fighting, she wants to go to a fight where she knows she's going to die. And through what Faramir is saying here, it's essentially like you still have a future. Maybe that's what it is. That's kind of what it is, I think. Let me write this down real quick. It's almost like Éowyn can't see her future. Yeah, she's mad at the problem, not the people around her. Yes, I love that. She wants the small earth. To smell or to small? Ooh, Ellie, great. She thinks she only has worth to die in battle. And Faramir's like, I got a little crush on you. You're worth it to me alive. Honestly, it is great. Okay, I'm liking this more. You guys are great. I love just like venting and you guys helping me figure this out. All right, let's keep reading. When he returned to his chamber, he called for the warden and heard all that he could tell of the Lady of Rohan. But I do not doubt, Lord, said the warden, that you would learn more from the halfling that is with us, for he was in the riding of the king, and with the lady at the end, they say. And so Mary was sent to Faramir. Okay, there's small things in this chapter that are a little off-putting to me. The idea that Mary was sent to Faramir instead of Faramir going to meet Mary. You know, it's the small things in life. And while that day lasted, they talked long together. And Faramir learned much more even than Mary put into words. Oh, I love that. His wisdom, reading between the lines. And he thought that he understood now something of the grief and unrest of Eowyn of Rohan. And in the fair evening, Faramir and Merry walked in the garden, but she did not come. Oh, Faramir has met all 4 hobbits. I love that. That's cute. But in the morning, as Faramir came from the houses, he saw her, as she stood upon the walls, and she was clad all in white and gleamed in the sun. And he called to her, and she came down. And they walked on the grass or sat under a green tree together, now in silence, now in speech. And each day after they did likewise. Oh, this is great. Faramir, you're doing all the right things. And the warden, looking from his window, was glad in heart, for he was a healer, and his care was lightened. And certain it was that, heavy as was the dread and foreboding of those days upon the hearts of men, still these 2 of his charges prospered and grew daily in strength. That's so good. Just having another's presence in your life. This is what she needs. Okay, I cannot wait to talk about some of this stuff in essays. Probably more than anything else in the world right now, she needs a person in her life who is by her side. That wasn't Theoden, because Theoden's dead. That was Theoden previously. Theoden's dead. Éomer was not near her because he was ignorant of what she was going through. Aragorn, whom she tried that with, he gets up and leaves. Now he actually has someone, in her corner, who's with her, listening to her, just being a normal human being. Like, I love that Faramir isn't like, let's diagnose you right now on the first date. I love that he's just like, I just want to be in your presence. Now I feel like she has a person that she can enjoy, like, not enjoy life with, obviously, because they're early on, but like, she has someone who is just by her side, just a good presence in her life. Oh, I love this. Okay. Eowyn's side. She needs a friend. Yes. Faramir kind of does too, yeah. She does need a psychologist for sure, but that can come later. Yeah, she definitely does need a psychologist. Oh, so see Hobbit. Thanks for the $5. It's not brought up, but I'm sure being with Faramir is great for Merry, having been with Boromir and not Theoden when they died. His wisdom is vital. Honestly, yeah, for sure. Same thing, Pippin being with Faramir, it's probably like a little bit of like here's a normal man. Yeah, Faramir is not looking for friendship right now. Although he's just doing the right things right now. Like, he might have a crush on her. She might not yet have a crush on him. Probably doesn't yet. But Faramir's doing the right things here. Just walking with her. And I love this line. Still, these 2 of his charges prospered and grew daily in strength. Like, the way that you actually heal is with other people, like that little community that you have. Like, they are with other people and they're healing quicker than the others because they're helping each other. Yeah, how can you not have a crush on him? Absolutely, but I don't think she's like, I don't know, actually. I was going to say, I don't think she's capable of crushes yet, but she did have a kind of a crush on Aragorn, but it wasn't really a crush. She's so complicated, guys. She's such a complicated character. I love her. And so the 5th day came since the Lady Eowyn went first to Faramir. And they stood now together once more upon the walls of the city and looked out. No tidings had yet come, and all hearts were darkened. The weather, too, was bright no longer. It was cold. A wind that had sprung up in the night was blowing now keenly from the north, and it was rising. But the lands about looked gray and drear. They were clad in warm raiment and heavy cloaks, and over all the Lady Eowyn wore a great blue mantle of the color of deep summer nights, and it was set with silver stars about hem and throat. Faramir had sent for his robe and had it wrapped it about her. This is so cute. And he thought that she looked fair and queenly. Indeed, as she stood there at his side, the mantle was wrought for his mother. Finduilas of Amroth, who died untimely, and was to him but a memory of loveliness in far days, and of his first grief. And her robe seemed to him raiment fitting for the beauty and sadness of Eowyn. Come on! Yeah, I remember someone was saying that she died giving birth. Did she die giving birth to Faramir? I'm guessing. Unless it was like a stillborn or something after. She didn't die from giving birth. How'd she die? I remember, so I think someone talked to me about this, but I kind of forgot. Soon after he was born. Faramir was 6. Interesting. I love that. Who died, and her robe seemed to him raiment fitting for the beauty and sadness of Eowyn. But she now shivered beneath the starry mantle, and she looked northward above the grey hither lands, into the eye of the cold wind, where far away the sky was hard and clear. What do you look for, Eowyn? Said Faramir. Does not the black gate lie yonder? She said. And must he not now become thither? It is 7 days since he rode away. 7 days, said Faramir. But think not ill of me, if I say to you, they have brought me both a joy and a pain that I never thought to know. Joy to see you, but pain, because now the fear and doubt of this evil time are grown dark indeed. Eowyn, I would not have this world end now, or lose so soon what I have found. This is so crushing, because she's still longing for death. It's going to take a long time for her to come out of this. What do you look for, Eowyn? Said Faramir. Does not the black gate lie yonder? She said. And must he not now be come thither? It is 7 days since he rode away. So they're probably just starting the battle now. 7 days, said Faramir. But think not ill of me, if I say to you, they have brought me both a joy and a pain that I never thought to know. Joy to see you, but pain, because now the fear and doubt of this evil time are grown dark indeed. Eowyn, I would not have this world end now, or lose so soon what I have found. Lose what you have found, Lord, she answered. But she looked at him gravely, and her eyes were kind. I know not what in these days you have found that you could lose, but come, my friend. She's just friend-zoned him. Come, buddy. Come, my friend. Let us not speak of it. Let us not speak at all. I stand upon some dreadful brink, and it is utterly dark in the abyss before my feet. But whether there is any light behind me, I cannot tell. For I cannot turn yet. I wait for some stroke of doom. Okay, so in my head, this is what this is. This is what I'm thinking. This is great. Holy smokes. This is so good. So is she saying right here, she's on the brink. Okay, so she's on the brink, some dreadful brink. And it is utterly dark in the abyss before my feet. It's before her feet. So technically this should be in the future, but I don't think it is, because I think has depression and she's looking at the back, and she's looking to where she just came from. And I think she's looking toward Theoden's death, and she's like, this is the abyss. And then she says, but whether there is any light behind me in my future, I don't know yet, for I cannot turn. I wait for some stroke of doom. So she's focusing on what is almost behind her. Is that kind of the reading of that? Yeah, for sure. She's talking about some kind of more like specific moment, I think. But I kind of think this is talking about like she is just looking at Theoden's death and mourning that so much. And there's like such little hope that she doesn't even want to turn around. Aragorn at the gate and herself soon enough. Yeah, I think she does think everyone's going to die. Maybe, yeah, honestly. But the only thing is like the thing she doesn't know if there's any light behind me. I cannot tell, for I cannot turn yet. I wait for some stroke of doom. She's like paralyzed with fear. Ooh, yeah, doom, the old English sense of being judged. Thank you. Yeah, that's good. Also, thanks for the $5. Appreciate it. Nice. Davide, thank you. I love that. Also, welcome. Yeah, she's facing the abyss and cannot turn back to the light. She has to wait for something. That is depression. That is one of the best descriptions of depression I've heard in a long time. That you're like looking at this dark pit and you cannot turn no matter what you try to do. And sometimes you have to be like jolted out of that. But she doesn't know if there's any light around her, any light behind her, because she's focusing on the terrible things that have happened. It just takes time. She feels something coming but doesn't know what it is yet. Yeah. Maybe she has like slight prophecy. Maybe she's able to see Frodo. I kind of love that paragraph. One second, I gotta write this. I want to talk about her feelings of depression in this chapter. I feel like it's not gonna be this week. It's probably not even gonna be next week. Some of next week. That's gonna be Eowyn depression week. It's just gonna be a bunch of essays about Eowyn. I'm pretty pumped for that though. Eowyn and depression. There's a lot of telepathy in the books. Interesting. Yeah, she's also still affected by the Nazgul. That's a great point. Yeah, she probably still has the black shadow on her to some extent. It probably lingers a little bit. Okay, let's read and find out. Let's read. Let's keep reading. Yes, we wait for the stroke of doom, said Faramir. And they said no more. It seemed to them as they stood upon the wall that the wind died, and the light failed, and the sun was bleared, and all the sounds of the city or in the lands about were hushed. Neither wind nor voice, nor bird call, nor rustle of leaf, nor their own breath could be heard. The very beating of their hearts was stilled. Time halted. As they stood so, their hands met and clasped, though they did not know it. Aww. And they waited, for they knew not what. Then presently it seemed to them that above the ridges of the distant mountains another vast mountain of darkness rose, towering up like a great wave that should engulf the world. And about it lightnings flickered, and then a tremor ran through the earth, and they felt the walls of the city quiver. A sound like a sigh went up from all the lands about them, and their hearts beat suddenly again. It reminds me of Numenor, said Faramir, and wondered to hear himself speak. Of Numenor, said Eowyn. Yes, said Faramir, of the land of westernness that foundered. and of the great dark wave climbing over the green lands and above the hills and coming on. Darkness, unescapable. I often dream of it. Whoa! Eagles are riding down the north wind over the dead marshes. Rippin' is being squashed by a dying troll. Sam and Frodo feel the urge to scamper the last yards up to the Sammath Nor. Arda holds its breath. The world kept its breath, yeah. Spoilers from Rings of Power. Yeah, I guess it gets swallowed up in water. A big wave comes. Interesting. Then you think that the darkness is coming, said Eowyn. Darkness unescapable. And suddenly she grew close to him. No, said Faramir, looking into her face. It was, or said Aragorn? I said Faramir. No, said Faramir, looking into her face. It was but a picture in the mind. I do not know what is happening. The reason of my waking mind tells me that great evils have befallen, and we stand at the end of days. But my heart says nay, and all my limbs are light, and a hope and joy are come to me that no reason can deny. Eowyn, White Lady of Rohan, in this hour I do not believe that any darkness will endure. And he stooped and kissed her brow. And they stood on the walls of the city of Gondor. And a great wind rose and blew, and their hair, raven and golden, streamed out mingling in the air. And the shadow departed, and the sun was unveiled, and light leaped forth, and the waters of Anduin shone like silver, and in all the houses of the city of men, and in all the houses of the city of men sang for the joy that welled up in their hearts from what source they could not tell. And before the sun had fallen, far from the noon out of the east, there came a great eagle flying. And he bore tidings beyond hope from the lords of the west, crying, "Sing now, ye people of the Tower of Honor, for the realm of Sauron is ended forever, and the darkness is thrown down. Sing and rejoice, ye people of the Tower of Guard, for your watch hath not been in vain, and the black gate is broken, and your king hath passed through, and he is victorious. Sing and be glad, all ye children of the west, for your king shall come again, and he shall dwell among you all the days of your life. And the tree that was withered shall be renewed, and he shall plant it in the high places, and the city shall be blessed. Sing, all ye people." And the people sang in all the ways of the city. Oh my gosh. The Eagle Envoy? Oh, why is that so good? Man. That whole section. Yeah, the Eagles are giving spoilers. What the heck? What a way to have news like that delivered to you. Sing now, ye people of the Tower of Honor, for the realm of Sauron is ended forever, and the dark tower is thrown down. Sing and rejoice, ye people of the Tower Guard, For your watch hath not been in vain. And the black gate is broken, and your king hath passed through, and he is victorious. Sing and be glad, all ye children of the west, for your king shall come again, and he shall dwell among you all the days of your life. And the tree that was withered shall be renewed, and he shall plant it in the high place, and the city shall be blessed. Sing, all ye people. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Yeah, let me actually do that. Let me reread the feelings of Faramir real quick. Hold on. But come, my friend, let us not speak of it. Let us not speak at all. I stand upon some dreadful brink, and it is utterly dark in the abyss before my feet. But whether there is any light behind me, I cannot tell, for I cannot turn yet. I wait for some stroke of doom. Yes, we wait for the stroke of doom, said Faramir, and they said no more. And it seemed to them as they stood upon the wall that the wind died, and the light failed, and the sun was bleared. That has to be Sauron, his last little stroke, where he rears up and he clouds out all the world. No? That's his big cloud moment. For sure. That feels like it's it. And the sun was bleared, and all the sound in the city or the lands about were hushed. Neither wind nor voice nor bird call nor rustle of leaf nor their own breath could be heard. The very beating of their hearts was stilled. Time halted. And as they stood so, their hands met and clasped, though they did not know it. And still they waited for they knew not what. And presently it seemed to them that above the ridges of the distant mountains another vast mountain of darkness rose, towering up like a wave that should engulf the world. And about it lightnings flickered, and then a tremor ran through the earth, and they felt the walls of the city quiver. A sound like a sigh went up from all the lands about them, and their hearts beat suddenly again. Oh, and that was literally right when Faramir says, Eowyn, White Lady of Rohan, in this hour I do not believe that any darkness will endure. And he stooped and kissed her brow. Man, they are like a providentially divine couple over here. Imagine, this is like kissing someone on New Year's, but on even more important than that. Like, imagine there's like a one New Year every millennia, and then all of a sudden you accidentally kiss someone on that exact moment. That's when you know it's meant to be. Wow. That's powerful. All right, let's keep reading. Wow, this is a good chapter. Okay, we still have a lot left. The days that followed were golden, and spring and summer joined and made revel together in the fields of Gondor. And tidings now came by swift riders from Cair Andros that all was done, and the city made ready for the coming of the king. Merry was summoned and rode away with the wains that took store of goods to Osgiliath, and thence by ship to Cair Andros. But Faramir did not go. For now, being healed, he took upon him his authority and his authority and the stewardship, although it was only for a little while, and his duty was to prepare for one who should replace him. Oh man, the new millennia, yeah, that's what I mean. The new age. I love that. Faramir is just doing his duty, waiting for someone to replace him. Love that. And Eowyn did not go, though her brother sent word begging her to come to the field of Kermallen. And Faramir wondered at this. You know what he's wondering? He's going, wait, her brother is bidding her to come and she's not? Does she have a crush on me? And Faramir wondered at this, but he saw her seldom, being busy with many matters. And she dwelt still in the houses of healing, and walked alone in the garden, and her face grew pale again. And it seemed that in all the city she was only ailing, and sorrowful. Is she bummed that she can't die in battle? And the warden of the houses was troubled, and he spoke to Faramir. Then Faramir came and sought her, and once more they stood on the walls together. And he said to her, Eowyn, why do you tarry here? And do not go to the rejoicing in Cormallen beyond Cair Andros, where their brother awaits you. And she said, do you not know? But he answered, 2 reasons there may be, but which is true I do not know. And she said, I do not wish to play at riddles. Speak plainer. I love her response there. That's great. That's actually so funny. And then if you will have it so, lady, he said, you do not go because only your brother called for you. And to look on the Lord Aragorn, Elendil's heir, in his triumph would now bring you no joy. Or because I do not go. And you desire still to be near me. Maybe for both these reasons, and you yourself cannot choose between them. Eowyn, do you not love me? Or will you not? Oh, no. I wished to be loved by another, she answered. But I desire no man's pity. That I know, he said. You desired to have the love of Lord Aragorn because he was high and puissant, and you wished to have renown and glory, and to be lifted far above the mean things that crawl on the earth. And as a great captain may to a young soldier, he seemed to you admirable. And so he is a lord among men, the greatest that now is. But when he gave you only understanding and pity, then you desired to have nothing, unless a brave death in battle. Look at me, Eowyn. Dang! Oh my gosh! So some of you guys, let me keep reading and then I'll give my interpretation of this. I was going to say some of you might get mad at my interpretation. I'm going to talk about this in a few paragraphs. Let me keep reading. And Eowyn looked at Faramir long and steadily. And Faramir said, Do not scorn pity that is the gift of a gentle heart, Eowyn. But I do not offer you my pity. You are a lady high and valiant, and have yourself won renown that shall not be forgotten. And you are a lady beautiful, I deem, beyond even the words of the elven tongue to tell, and I love you. Once I pitied your sorrow. But now were you sorrowless without fear or any lack? Were you the blissful queen of Gondor, still I would love you. Eowyn, do you not love me? This is gutting. Then the heart of Eowyn changed, or else at last she understood it. And suddenly her winter passed, and the sun shone on her. I stand in Minas Arnor, the tower of the sun, she said, and behold, the shadow has departed. I will be a shield maiden no longer, nor vie with the great riders, nor take joy only in the songs of slaying. I will be a healer, and love all things that grow and are not barren. And again she looked at Faramir. No longer do I desire to be a queen, she said. That's it. Okay. Okay, everyone, we're going to talk about this. This is, to me, different from how Aragorn diagnosed her early on. I'm going to talk about this in a bit. Give me a few more paragraphs because there's a little break in the section over there. I cannot wait to talk about this. Then Faramir laughed merrily. That is well, he said, for I am not a king. Faramir is thinking just of himself. He's like, Faramir, I understand his pain because Eowyn has not answered his question 20 times. Faramir is like, do you love me? And she's like, I stand in the tower of the sun and it's departed. The shadow has departed. I no longer desire to be a queen or a shield maiden. And Faramir's like, yeah, I know, but can you answer my question? That as well, because he goes, for I am not a king. And he's like, hint, hint, I'm still asking you this question. Yet I will wed with the white lady of Rohan if it be her will. And if she will, then let us cross the river, and in happier days let us dwell in fair Ithilien, and there make a garden. All things will grow with joy there if the white lady comes. Then must I leave my own people, men of Gondor? She said. And would you have your proud folks would you have your proud folks say of you, there goes a lord who tamed a wild shield maiden of the north. Was there no woman of the race of Númenor to choose? I would, said Faramir. And he took her in his arms and kissed her under the sunlit sky. And he cared not that they stood high upon the walls in the sight of many. And many indeed saw them, and the light that shone about them as they came down from the walls and went hand in hand to the houses of healing. And to the warden of the houses, Faramir said, here is the lady Eowyn of Rohan, and now she is healed. No longer do I desire to be a queen. The land pairs well with Aragorn's words to her in the next chapter. Okay, interesting. Thanks for the $5. Yeah, I appreciate it. And to the warden, then I release her from my charge and bid her farewell. And may she suffer never hurt nor sickness again. I commend her to the care of the steward of the city until your brother returns. But Eowyn said, yet now that I have leave to depart, I would remain. For this house has become to me of all dwellings the most blessed. And she remained there until King Éomer came. King Éomer, that has a nice ring to it. Okay, let's talk about this for a little bit. I still there's a part of me that is going that Eowyn still did not truly love Aragorn. And I mean, we were talking about that a while ago, but I still don't think that it's explicitly in here that she had like any legitimate feelings for Aragorn the person. She loved Aragorn because she loved what Aragorn could give to her. And I know Aragorn said that for sure. But at the same point, I think Aragorn still felt this idea that like the line that Aragorn says where he's like, few pains are worse than like leaving, than saying no, than not returning the love of someone who loves you back or whatever it was. Aragorn like understood it, but that the reason why I called him like a pick-me person was because he seemed like he still had this idea that Eowyn loved him when it really wasn't. Aragorn's words probably should have been, look, she doesn't actually like, she thinks she loves the idea of me. She loves what I can offer her. She doesn't actually love me. So hi, Wes. What's up, buddy? Wes is just watching me in the doorway now. Yeah, he was talking about that with Éomer for sure. Because another thing that she says, where this is the line. Where is it? She summed up her feelings perfectly for herself, which I loved. But there was this line, where is it? Then if you have it so, lady, you do not go because only your brother called for you. And to look on the Lord Aragorn, Elendil's heir, and his triumph would now bring you no joy, or because I do not go, and you desire still to be near me, and maybe for both these reasons, and you yourself cannot choose between them. Eowyn, do you love me, or will you not? I wish to be loved by another, she answered, but I desire no man's pity. I stand in Minas Anor, the tower of the sun, she said, and behold, the shadow has departed. And she's saying, I'm not stopping. She's like, okay, I'm going to put aside my crush of Aragorn. She's not saying that. She says, I'm going to be a shield maiden no longer, nor will I vie with the great riders, nor take joy only in the songs of slaying. I will be a healer, and love all things that grow and are not barren. Again, she looked at Faramir. No longer do I desire to be a queen. She's laying aside her ambitions there. Not necessarily ambitions. They're not necessarily ambitions. This is when she truly gains like a good level of humility, I think. But ironically, the very minute that she lays these aside is probably when she is most worthy to be with Aragorn, and when they would probably be the best fit. Yeah, laying aside her death wishes. Yeah, for sure. Like, she's transitioning into becoming her obsessions maybe? Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it. She's discovering a new way to find honor. I love that. And it's interesting because this is the very moment when she's probably, I think this is when her self-worth is popping up. And this is really the moment that she actually deserves Aragorn. And Aragorn deserves her. That they would actually be a great couple, because she's becoming a healer. She's becoming what Aragorn is. And she's doing that on her own account, by her own strength, not by the strength of another person, not by clawing through that person. She's doing it herself. And this is when she's most worthy to be queen. This is when she's most worthy to be a ruler. It's when she lays aside her obsessions over these things. Yes, Aragorn has his little elf princess girlfriend that we haven't really even met in the books yet. I mean, like one little dinner date, but that was about it. Yes, Worf, 100%. Also, thanks for the $5. She's laying aside her childhood obsessions and becoming adult. She's laying aside what it means to be a child, these ideas of slaying a dragon, and she's actually becoming a mature person. Michael, I'm glad I'm close. I can't wait for the next chapter now. I can't wait for all these chapters. I love these. Huh. I love this. This is so good. He's such a good little writer. This is so excellent. Hold on. This is really going to be Eowyn week. It's just going to be all about Eowyn. And then one random essay about the Eagle Envoy that I thought was really cool. Hold on, give me a sec. And then we'll keep reading. I love this section when Faramir was like, do you love me? And then she's like, the sun doesn't shine here anymore. And I don't want to be a queen anymore. But do you love me? Now Faramir is a pick-me boy. All right, let's keep reading. Man, what a good chapter. All things were now made ready in the city, and there was great concourse of people, for the tidings had gone out into all parts of Gondor, from Min Ramon even to Peneth Gelen, and the far coasts of the sea. And all that could come to the city made haste to come. And the city was filled again with women and fair children that returned to their homes laden with flowers. And from Dol Amroth came the harpers that harped most skillfully in all the land. And there were players upon viols, and upon flutes, and upon horns of silver, and clear-voiced singers from the vales of Lebanon. At last, an evening came when from the walls of the pavilion could be seen upon the field. And all the night lights were burning as men watched for the dawn. And when the sun rose in the clear morning above the mountain of the east, upon which shadows no more lay, then all the bells rang. Then all the banners broke and flowed in the wind, and upon the white tower of the citadel, the standard of the stewards, bright argent like the snow in the sun, bearing no charge nor device, was raised over Gondor for the last time. Dang, that's cool. Now the captains of the west led their host toward the city, and folk saw them advance in line upon line, flashing and glinting in the sunrise and rippling like silver. And so they came before the gateway and halted a furlong from the walls, and yet no gates had been set up again. But the barrier was laid across the entrance to the city, and there stood men at arms in silver and black with long swords drawn. Before the barrier stood Faramir the steward, and Hurin, warden of the keys, and other captains of Gondor, and the lady Eowyn of Rohan with Elfhelm, the marshal, and many knights of the mark. And upon either side of the gate was a great press of fair people, in raiment of many colors, and garlands of flowers. So now there was a wide space before the walls of Minas Tirith, and it was hemmed in upon all its sides by the knights and the soldiers of Gondor and of Rohan, and by the people of the city, in all the parts of the land. A hush fell upon all, as out from the host stepped the Dunedain, in silver and gray. Dang. That's actually kind of crazy. You sent 2 super chats, but neither showed up? Interesting. I don't know. Sometimes I know some different countries have issues with sending some. I'm not sure what that is. I'll look into that. I'll look into it. Hold on. Let's see if it's actually in this. Yeah, it doesn't pop up at all. I'll look into it. If any mods know the issue of that. Yeah, this is a really lovely feast, lovely festivity. Whoa, a different font. This is weird. Unless this is bold and not bold. This is like, looks like a different font from this. It just looks like the printer. They like how to change the printer toner on the next page. Huh. That's really weird. Okay, I'll definitely check that out, and then I'll send you a message on like one of the comments or something like that. A hush fell upon all, as out from the host stepped the Dunedain in silver and gray, and before them came walking slow the Lord Aragorn. He was clad in black mail girt with silver, and he wore a long mantle of pure white, clasped at the throat with a great jewel of green that shone from afar. But his head was bare save for a star upon his forehead, bound by a slender fillet of silver. With him were Eomer of Rohan, and the Prince Emerhil, and Gandalf robed in all white, and 4 small figures that many men marveled to see. Nay, cousins, they are not boys, said Yorith to her kinsman or kinswoman from Imloth Melwi, who stood beside her. Those are the Perian, out of the far country of the halflings, where they are princes of great fame, it is said. I should know, for I had one to tend in the houses. They are small, but they are valiant. Why, cousin, one of them went with only his esquire into the Black Country and fought with the Dark Lord all by himself and set fire to his tower, if you can believe it. At least that is the tale in the city. That will be the one that walks with our Elfstone. They are dear friends, I hear. Now he is a marvel, the Lord Elfstone. Not too soft in his speech, mind you, but he has a golden heart, as is the saying. And he has the healing hands. The hands of the king are the hands of a healer. I said, and that was how it was all discovered. And Mithrandir, he said to me, Yorith, men will long remember your words. But Yorith was not permitted to continue the instruction of her kinswoman from the country. That's incredible. I love this is kind of like how war propaganda starts too. Or not necessarily war, but like the lore propaganda almost. Like he fought against the Black Shadow himself. I love it. Yorith getting cut off is so good. That's like so perfect. Yeah, not too soft in speech because Aragorn was mad and corrected her. He's like, shut up. But Yorith was not permitted to continue the instruction of her kinswoman from the country. For a single trumpet rang, and a dead silence followed. And then forth from the gate went Faramir with Hurin of the Keys, and no others, save that behind them walked 4 men in the high helms and armor of the citadel. And they bore a great casket of black lebethron bound with silver. Did they make a new standard? That has to be a new standard. A casket for Pippin? No! I think they're going to have a new standard that comes out of that. That's my guess. Maybe? Faramir met Aragorn in the midst of those there assembled, and he knelt and said, the last steward of Gondor begs leave to surrender his office. And he held out a white rod. But Aragorn took the rod and gave it back, saying, that office is not ended, and it shall be thine and thy heirs as long as my line shall last. Do now thy office. Then Faramir stood up and spoke in a clear voice. Men of Gondor, hear now the steward of this realm. Behold, one has come to claim the kingship again at last. Here is Aragorn, son of Arathorn, chief of the Dunedain of Arnor, captain of the hosts of the west, bearer of the star of the north, wielder of the sword reforged, victorious in battle, whose hands bring healing, the Elfstone Elisar of the line of Valinor, or Valandil, Isildur's son, Elendil's son of Numenor. Shall he be king and enter into the city and dwell there? And all the hosts and all the people cried, yea, with one voice. Yay! Oh, this is so good. I love that he keeps him as steward. He's still steward of the city. This is great. And Yorith said to her kinswoman, this is just a ceremony such as we have in the city, cousin. For he has already entered, as I was telling you. And he said to me, and then again she was obliged to silence, for Faramir spoke. This is so good. This is the best. This is the comedy of Tolkien on full display. She cannot get a sentence out. The person that wants to speak the most can't even get it. This is such good writing. Men of Gondor, the lore masters tell that it was the custom of old that the king should receive the crown from his fathers ere he died. Or if that might not be, that he should go alone and take it from the hands of his father in the tomb where he was laid. But since things must now be done otherwise, using the authority of the steward, I have today brought hither from the Rathdinen the crown of Earnor, the last king, whose days passed in the time of our long fathers of old. Then the guards stepped forward, and Faramir opened the casket, and he held up the ancient crown. It was shaped like the helms of the guards of the citadel, save that it was loftier, and it was all white, and the wings at either side were wrought of pearl and silver in the likeness of the wings of the seabird. For it was the emblem of kings who came over the sea. And 7 gems of adamant were set in the circlet, and upon its summit was set a single jewel, the light of which went all the way up like a flame. Oh man, the crowning of the king. Earnor. Okay, Earnor. Yes, send me the drawing of the Crown of Gondor, please. I would love to see that. Pippin's little casket. Earnor. Okay. Then Aragorn took the crown and held it up and said, Et Iarello, my pronunciation is going to be terrible. Et Iarello Endorina Utulian Sinome Maruvin Ar Hildanyar Tain Ambar Meta. Those were the words that Elendil spoke when he came up out of the sea on the wings of the wind. Out of the great sea to Middle Earth I come. In this place I will abide, and my heirs until the ending of the world. What a promise. Oh, he sings that in the movie? Dang, that's so good. I'm going to make a video about that. What a good promise that he makes here. What a good song too. I love that. Then to the wonder of many, Aragorn did not put the crown upon his head, but gave it back to Faramir and said, By the labor and valor of many I have come into my inheritance. In token of this, I would have given the ring bearer the crown to me. I would have the ring bearer give the crown to me. And let Mithrandir set it upon my head, if he will. For he has been the mover of all that has been accomplished, and this is his victory. Oh. Then Frodo came forward and took the crown from Faramir and bore it to Gandalf. And Aragorn knelt. And Gandalf set the white crown upon his head and said, Now come the days of the king, and may they be blessed while the thrones of the Valar endure. But when Aragorn arose, all that beheld him gazed in silence, for it seemed to them that he was revealed to them now for the first time. Tall as the sea kings of old, he stood above all that were near. Ancient of days he seemed, and yet in the flower of manhood. And wisdom sat upon his brow, and strength and healing were in his hands. and a light was about him. And then Faramir cried, "Behold the king." And in that moment all the trumpets were blown. And the king Elisar went forth and came to the barrier. And Hurin of the keys thrust it back. And amid the music of the harp and the viol and the flute and the singing of the clear voices, the king passed through the flower-laden streets and came to the citadel and entered in. And the banner of the tree of the stars was unfurled upon its topmost tower, and the reign of King Elisar began, of which many songs have told. In his time, the city was made more fair than it had ever been, even in the days of its first glory, and it was filled with trees and with fountains, and its gates were wrought of mithril and steel, and its streets were paved from white marble, and the folk of the mountain labored in it. Ah, yes! And the folk of the wood rejoiced to come there, and it was all healed and made good, and the houses were filled with men and women and the laughter of children, and no window was blind, nor any courtyard empty. And after the ending of the third age of the world, into the new age, it preserved the memory and the glory of the years that were gone. This is so good. A little real estate bloom. I love so much that the dwarves and the elves come and help out. Gimli and Legolas were talking about that. Gimli was like, "Oh, I just want to bring some of my dwarves here, and then we can make this city beautiful." Ah, Dragon, thanks. I'm excited to look at that. Yeah, who cares about his tax policy? No one cares about that. Yeah, George R. R. Martin would. Everyone drink. This is so good. Anytime I say it, you got to drink. Yeah, we got to listen to Aragorn's coronation song. Actually, you probably can't listen to it here because it'll get stricken for copyright. Oh, so good. Man. I love that he had Frodo come bring him the crown. I feel like there's some symbolism there. I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to take a guess. I'm going to take a guess that the fall of Numenor was aligned with the rise of Sauron. Maybe. And this was Sauron's era, and maybe the last king. Yeah, the last king. I don't know. Where were the hobbits in the mix of all that? But I like the idea that Frodo is like the one who defeated Sauron, really. So he is the one who brings the king over. He bears the ring, and he bears the he bears the crown too. That's almost not. That's not Frodo's more important role, but it kind of feels like it's in parallel with that. Frodo is not just a ring bearer, he's a crown bearer. Yeah, don't say anything without spoilers. I'm not going to look at the chat that much, but learn about that later. Excuse me, I need some water. Man. That is so good. Ooh, I'm excited to reread the Council of Elrond then. I kind of forgot about a lot of that. Yeah, just keep drinking your rum. I'm gonna get you guys drunk over here by just saying all this. Yeah, start a fund to buy me a sharpened pencil. I do have a pencil sharpener in my garage, but it's not a good one. I gotta sharpen all my pencils. I have like 20 pencils just floating around my house right now, or my apartment. All right, let's keep reading. A few more pages. I always get sad when the chapters end. In the days that followed his crowning, the king sat upon his throne in the hall of the kings and pronounced his judgments. And embassies came from many lands and people, from the east and the south, and the borders of Mirkwood, from the Dunland in the west. And the king pardoned the Easterlings that had given themselves up, and sent them away free. And he made peace with the people of the Harad. And the slaves of Mordor he released and gave to them all the lands about Lake Nirnan to be their own. Let's go! And there were brought before him many to receive his praise and reward for their valor. And last, the captain of the guard brought him Baragon to be judged. Ah! Are we going to get something? Oh, whoa, look at that. Wait, why is it all hazy and fuzzy on that side? What is going on with my camera right now? Ouch, I just got a cramp in my foot. Yeah, all that volcanic soil is going to be great for them. All right, what is this glare that we have going on? Hold on, I'm going to... Sorry, you just saw my foot. The light of Arendelle, honestly, it is. We've never had this before, and all of a sudden we have it. When Aragorn is being crowned king, this is just another sign. This is wild. Oh, it's right here. Just a little prism coming through. We'll deal with it. It feels appropriate for the crowning of Aragorn to become king. Mount Doom is becoming a tourist trap. Yeah, they're just gonna charge. They're just gonna. Tourism is gonna become New Mordor's leading industry. Honestly, that's probably the land you'd want to go in most. It's probably so fertile by this lake. Actually, the lake seems kind of dead, so I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's see what Baragon's. Let's see about Baragon's judgment here. He's got to become. I'm gonna guess he's gonna become like captain of the city or something like that. And the king said to Baragon, "Baragon, by your sword, blood was spilled in the Hallows, where that is forbidden. Also, you left your post without leave of lord or of captain. For these things of old, death was the penalty. Now, therefore, I must pronounce your doom. All penalty is remitted for your valor in battle, and still more because all that you did was for the love of Lord Faramir. Nonetheless, you must leave the guard of the citadel, and you must go forth from the city of Minas Tirith." Then the blood left Baragon's face, and he was stricken to the heart and bowed his head. But the king said, "So it must be, for you are appointed to the White Company, the guard of Faramir, Prince of Ithilien, and you shall be its captain and dwell in Emin Arnon in honor and peace in the service of him for who you risked all to save him from death." I love this. And I love that him and his son are going to hang out with Faramir now. Yeah, Aragorn's just a little troll right here. Imagine this is the moment that Aragorn turns to Joffrey. "Sir Ilan, bring me his head." This is when Aragorn becomes the real the real King Joffrey. Terrible king. This is so beautiful. And then Baragon, perceiving the king's mercy and justice of the king, was glad, and kneeling kissed his hand, and departed in joy and content. And Aragorn gave to Faramir Ithilien to be his princedom, and bade him dwell in the hills of Emin Arnon within sight of the city. "For," he said, "Minas Ithil and Minas Morgul shall be utterly destroyed. And though it may in time to come be made clean, no man may dwell there for many long years." I mean, that's probably the right decision. It feels a little bit like Chernobyl. Yeah, also, everyone liked the stream. Thank you, Portia. Huh. Man, this little, hold on, we gotta cut that out. Not because this isn't good, but because it's blocking everything else. There we go. Now we're good. One second, I gotta write this down. then Frodo. And then, 1 second. Thillian and all right. Hold on, let's keep reading. We got 2 more pages. Intense chemical contamination. Yeah, probably right. All right, let's keep reading. And last of all, Aragorn greeted Éomer of Rohan, and they embraced. And Aragorn said, "Between us there can be no word of giving or taking, nor of reward, for we are brethren." In happy hour did Eorl ride from the north, and never has any league of people been more blessed, so that neither has ever failed the other, nor shall fail. Now, as you know, we have laid Theoden the Renowned in a tomb in the Hallows, and there he shall lie forever among the kings of Gondor, if you will. Or if you desire it, we will come to Rohan and bring him back to rest with his own people. Hey, shh. No barking. That's just your neighbors. And Éomer answered, "Since the day when you rose before me out of the green grass of the downs, I have loved you, and that love shall not fail. But now I must depart for a while to my own realm, where there is much to heal and set in order. But as for the fallen, when all is made ready, we will return for him. But here let him sleep a while." And Éowyn said to Faramir, "Now I must go back to my own lands and look on it once again, and help my brother in his labor. But when one whom I long loved as a father is laid at last to rest, I will return." Éowyn and Faramir. Yost, you gotta go. Thanks for joining. Ah, man, she's being noble and she's being wise and she's being smart here. I really love her. I think she's so great. So the glad days passed. And on the 8th day of May, the riders of Rohan made ready and rode off by the north way, and with them went the sons of Elrond. All the road was lined with people to do them honor and praise, from the gate of the city to the walls of the Pelennor. Wow, that is a long way. And all others that dwelt afar went back to their homes rejoicing. But in the city there was labor of many willing hands to rebuild and renew and remove all the scars of war and the memory of the darkness. The hobbits still remained in Minas Tirith with Legolas and Gimli, for Aragorn was loth for the fellowship to be dissolved. "At last all such things must end," he said. I don't know if I want to keep reading. This is going to be crushing. But I would have you wait a little while longer. For the end of the deeds that you have shared in has not yet come. A day draws near that I have looked for in all the years of my manhood. And when it comes, I would have my friends beside me. But of that day he would say no more. In those days the companions of the ring dwelt together in a fair house with Gandalf, and they went to and fro as they wished. And Frodo said to Gandalf, "Do you know what this day is that Aragorn speaks of? For we are happy here, and I do not wish to go, but the days are running away, and Bilbo is waiting, and the Shire is my home." Mm-hmm. "As for Bilbo," said Gandalf, "he is waiting for the same day, and he knows what keeps you. And as for the passing of these days, it is now only May in high summer. It is now only May, and high summer is not yet in. And though all things may seem changed, as if an age of the world has gone by, yet to the trees and grass it is less than a year since you set out. Pippin, said Frodo. Then you say that Gandalf was less close than of old? He was weary of his labors then, I think. Now he is recovering. And Gandalf said, many folk like to know beforehand what is to be said on the table. But those who have labored to prepare a feast like to keep their secret. For wonder makes the words of praise louder. And Aragorn himself waits for a sign. What is this? Are they just gonna like have a feast in the honor of the hobbits? There came a day when Gandalf could not be found, and the companions wondered what was going forward. But Gandalf took Aragorn out of the city by night, and he brought him to the southern feet of Mount Mindalluin. And there they found a path made in ages past that few now dared to tread, for it led up onto the mountain to a high hollow where only the kings had been wont to go. And they went up by steep ways until they came to a high field below the snows that clad the lofty peaks. And it looked down over the precipice that stood behind the city. And standing there, they surveyed the lands, for the morning was come, and they saw the tower of the city far below them, like white pencils touched by the sunlight. And all the vale of Anduin was like a garden, and the mountains of shadow were veiled in a golden mist. Upon the one side, their sight reached to the grey Emyn Muil, and the glint of the Rhoros was like a star twinkling far off. And upon the other side, they saw the river like a ribbon laid down to Pelargir. And beyond that, was a light on the hem of the sky that spoke of the sea. And Gandalf said, this is your realm. Everything that the light touches is your realm. In the heart of the greater realm that shall be. The third age of the world is ended. The new age has begun. And it is your task to order its beginning and to preserve what may be preserved. For though much has been saved, much must now pass away. And the power of the three rings also is ended. And all the lands that you see, and those that lie around about them, shall be the dwellings of men. For the time comes of the dominion of men, and the elder kindred shall fade or depart. I know it well, dear friend, said Aragorn, but I would still have your counsel. Not for long now, said Gandalf. The third age was my age. I was the enemy of Sauron, and my work is finished. I shall go soon. The burden must lie now upon you and your kindred. This is sad. The return of the Lion King. But I shall die, said Aragorn, for I am a mortal man. And though being what I am, and of the race of the West, unmingled, I shall have life far longer than other men. Yet that is but a little while. And when those who are now in the wombs of women are born and have grown old, I too shall grow old. And who shall govern Gondor, and those who look to the city as to their queen, if my desire be not granted? The tree in the court of the fountain is still withered and barren. When shall I see a sign that it will ever be otherwise? Turn your face from the green world, and look where all seems barren and cold, said Gandalf. Then Aragorn turned, and there was a stony slope behind him, running down from the skirts of the snow. And as he looked, he was aware that alone, there in the waste, a growing thing stood. What the heck is going on? And he climbed to it and saw that out of the very edge of the snow there sprang a sapling tree no more than 3 foot high. Oh, are they going to take this tree and plant it? Already it had put forth young leaves, long and shapely, dark above the silver beneath. And upon its slender crown it bore one small cluster of flowers whose white petals shone like the sunlit snow. Then Aragorn cried, Yea, Utuvenias, I have found it. Lo, here is the scion of the eldest tree, the eldest of the trees, or the eldest of trees. But how comes it here? For it is not itself yet 7 years old. And Gandalf, coming, looked at it and said, Verily, this is a sapling of the line of Nimloth the Fair. And that was a seedling of Galathilion. And that a fruit of Telprion, of many names, eldest of trees. Who shall say how it comes here in the appointed hour? But this is an ancient hallow, and ere the kings failed or the tree withered in the court, a fruit must have been set here. For it is said that though the fruit of the tree comes seldom to ripeness, yet the life within may lie sleeping through many long years, and none can foretell the time in which it will awaken. Remember this, for if ever a fruit ripens, it should be planted, lest the line die out of this world. Here it has lain hidden upon the mountain, even as the race of Elendil lay hidden in the wastes of the north. Yet the line of Nimloth is older far than your line, King Elisar. This is so interesting. Like, this to me seems like the best advice that Gandalf is actually giving Aragorn ever. Like advice on how to govern in the Fourth Age. Yeah, I don't understand all of its meaning, but it just seems so cool. What's up, Wes? Wes, we have one more page and then we'll go for a walk, okay? You're staring at me like, you better hustle this up. What's up, buddy? I know. We're almost there, bud. Then Aragorn laid his hand gently to the sapling, and lo, it seemed to hold on lightly to the earth. And it was removed without hurt, and Aragorn bore it back to the citadel. Then the withered tree was uprooted, but with reverence. And they did not burn it, but laid it to rest in the silence of Rathdinan. And Aragorn planted the new tree in the court, by the fountain. And swiftly and gladly it began to grow. And when the month of June entered in, it was laid with blossom. The sign has been given, said Aragorn, and the day is not far off. And he set watchmen upon the walls. How did it get up there? Who planted that tree? Did Gandalf plant that tree? Yeah, Dragon, that kind of feels like it's to me. Yeah, it feels like it was planted a long time ago and the seed was just dormant. And then all of a sudden now it's sprouting forth. But he said it wasn't yet 7 years old. It's a gift from the gods. That's a long read and find out. Interesting. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Join for another live read. Love that. This is really strange. Another swig of whiskey. Played a long time before the tree died. Bill the Pony planted it is my headcanon. 100%. Bill the Pony came wandering up there and just took one little spit in that little section of the soil because he knew there was a little seed there. And then that seed sprouted up. Honestly, it could be the Eagles. I love that this is like, is it? It just feels like a little, My dog's deciding to chew down. Okay, we have one little last section before the chapter's over. Weird tree section. That wasn't in the movies, unless I missed it. It was the day before midsummer when messengers came from Amundine to the city, and they said there was a riding of fair folk out of the north, and they drew near now to the walls of the Pelennor. And the king said, "At last they have come. Let the city be made ready." Oh, are they coming to meet Arwen? Is that the day that he wants a feast so that the hobbits can meet Arwen? It was eagle poop. Upon the very eve of midsummer, when the sky was blue as sapphire and white stars opened in the east, but the west was still golden, and the air was cool and fragrant, the riders came down from the north way to the gates of Minas Tirith. First rode Elrohir and Eladon with a banner of silver, and then came Glorfindel and Erestor and all the household of Rivendell. And after them came the Lady Galadriel and Celeborn, Lord of Lothlorien. Or, as we know him, Teleporno. Riding upon white steeds, and with them many fair folk of the land, grey-cloaked, with white gems in their hair. Hold on, give me 1 second. I gotta give my dog a little food because he's trying to dig under his bowl right now. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Hey, what's up, bud? You need my camera? There. Can you say hi to everyone? Come here. Say hi. Everyone, this is Wes. Good boy. Good boy, buddy. You're such a good boy. You're so handsome. Go get some food. Look what I got. Oh, look what I got. Oh, good job. Ready? Oh, sorry. Just hit my mirror. That's Wes. He's a good boy. He's a great boy. Juan. I heard about Juan. All right, let's finish this chapter. Gray cloaked with white gems in their hair. And last came Master Elrond, mighty among elves and men, bearing the scepter of Anuminas. Beside him, upon grey palfrey, rode Arwen, his daughter, even star of her people. And Frodo, when he saw her come glimmering in the evening with stars on her brow and a sweet fragrance about her, was moved with great wonder. And he said to Gandalf, "At last I understand why we have waited. This is the ending." I'm about to get really emotional after that. That line kind of crushed me. Now not day only shall be beloved, but night too shall be beautiful and blessed, and all its fear passed away. Then the king welcomed his guest, and they alighted, and Elrond surrendered the scepter. What? Surrendered the scepter? So he just kept it. Interesting. Narnia Queen. That's for sure. That's for sure. Oh. This is the ending. And laid the hands of his daughter in the hand of the king. And together they went up into the high city. And all the stars flowered in the sky. And Aragorn, the king Elisar, wedded Arwen Undomiel in the city of kings upon the day of midsummer. And the tale of their long waiting and labors was come to fulfillment. Why is every chapter ending just so gutting and so devastating and so perfect? Wait, I missed a line? I don't think I missed a line. What line did I miss? Light too shall be blessed. That's not in my copy. Night. Yeah, I said, wait, hold on. No, I said that line. Did I miss that line? No one bows to anyone. But night too shall be beautiful and blessed, and all its fear pass away. And I love that they're doing that on I like that they're doing that on midsummer too. Like that's the longest day of the year, right? And so they're saying that on literally the longest day of the year. When they say night too shall be beautiful and blessed, and all its fear pass away. Man. Guys, I've said this before. I'll say it 1,000 times. This guy knows how to write. This guy knows how to write. This is like a romantic chapter. This is Tolkien's great romance right here. All these people getting together. Like we're getting like soft farewells. Like little rumblings. Yeah, it's actually interesting because we're doing this on midwinter. We're doing this on the first day of winter in our calendars. The longest or the shortest day of the year. That's an interesting little comparison. It's literally about to get dark in like a half hour. It's depressing. Man, what a good romantic chapter. Oh yeah, I want to check these out. Solstices for the win. I know, what an interesting coincidence. Legit. All right, let's check out these drawings. This one's not loading yet. File J.R. Tolkien Crown of Gondor SVG. Seems like it's a broken file that's not loading. From Tolkien Gateway. Tolkien Gateway. Oh, look at this. Hold on. That's a sick crown. That's kind of a sick crown. I do kind of like the crown in the movie too, to be honest. But this is kind of sweet. Hi, Mango. Have a good night's sleep. I'm going to jump off in a second. Just take Wes for a walk before it gets dark. It's about to get dark real soon. And this one just keeps loading. I think it's a broken file. Man. Night 2 shall be blessed. Reading about midsummer and midwinter. Legit. It's crazy. Crown of Tolkien. Crown of Gondor Tolkien drawing. Okay. Let me look that up real quick. Crown of Gondor. Tolkien drawing. Oh, I've seen this image before. Check this out. Oh, no, not that one. Sorry. This is the crown? Interesting. I thought this was the whatchamacallit's crown. Oakleaf, have a great day. Go enjoy holiday family stuff. There's a deleted song that Annie Lennox sings called Use Well the Day, and it has that line in it. Interesting. I gotta check that song out. I love that. Tolkien little in his drawings. Man. What a good chapter. What a good chapter. I don't mind the movie. The movie crown. I think it's a cool looking crown. I wish it was like longer. I wish the wings were longer now because I feel like the wings should be a little longer. But I don't mind it in the movies. But in my imagination, it looks cooler. Man, guys, that was a good chapter. Stop. This is gonna be Eowyn week. I just want to talk about Eowyn the whole time. I might combine some of those, so maybe just a few essays about Eowyn. Man, a lot of interesting stuff at the end. I need to reread that bit with the tree and just try to decipher that. I love that he was giving him essentially, like, when he was talking about the tree, was he like, you need to make sure your heirs are worthy to rule like you are. If they're not, then just like, get rid of them. It wasn't necessarily saying that. But there's like a line in there with the fruit idea. That was so interesting. Yeah, it kind of looked like a dunce cap a little bit. A cool dunce cap, though. The tree is very deep lore. Okay. I'll still probably write an essay about the tree because I thought that was a really fascinating section of the book. Obviously not in the movies, but it makes me really curious to learn more about that. Yeah, he needs Arwen. Yeah, for sure. That felt like I was thinking in that section too that Arwen was literally going to pop out of like the trees over there. I feel like, hey, I'm here. You need an heir? I'm ready to go. So they're definitely going to have an heir, and that's going to be it. But it seemed like they were talking about like the importance of making sure you train your heirs or something like that. It was good. It's really interesting. Or like setting your heirs up to be good people. Man, what a good chapter, guys. Tree lineage is older than even Arwen's. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of lore there that I just don't know, but I want to read that slower and just kind of just decompress through that. Man, what a good chapter. Numenorian kings didn't have crowns, but scepters. Interesting. I am kind of impressed that we got through that chapter in less than 3 hours too. Everyone, we did it. 2 hours, 45 minutes. That ain't too bad. We're kind of speeding up a little bit, guys. Look at me. You're being go-kart is filled with what a good chapter. Numenorian styles work kind of like Egyptian styles, Tolkien said. Interesting. Have a good Christmas, guys. If you're leaving, I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna stay on for another 2 minutes and then probably go take Wes for a walk. We'll end at 4:03. And no, that's what I'm going for. I want to go for being the slowest reader of all time and taking all sorts of little rabbit trails, but being really interesting and entertaining at the same time. Because it's just my first time reading, so it's just genuine interest and entertainment. Yeah, the next few chapters are a little shorter, and then the Scouring of the Shower of the Shire chapter is the longer one. But I'm not. So there's gonna be no stream next week too. By the way, no stream next week. If you want to, we are reading Pride and Prejudice. So if you want to subscribe to that channel, you can subscribe there. That's gonna be like the book club chapter or a book club channel. And then let me throw the Discord link in there too, because we got to get Discord going. If you want to jump in the Discord, here is the Discord link. It's hidden. Hold on a second. Disable. No reading next week. We're going to take a week off so the essays can catch up, and because it's Christmas and all that other stuff. It's just a busy time. And then I think we'll probably start the week after that again. Like in the new year and the Thursday, the next Sunday of the new year. So we'll probably meet again in 2 weeks. Marriott Christmas. I'm gonna start saying that now. Instead of Merry Christmas, I'm gonna say Marriott Christmas. Just say it real quick. Merry Crisis, Merry Chrysler. Yeah, I think I like the remaining chapters. They just seem they're like really itching scratches that I feel like I need. You know. What a time. No more streams in this quarter of the decade. Yeah, we'll probably do a Father Christmas letter sometime this week. Maybe just a stream of a Father Christmas letter, or like we'll finish that. Or maybe not finish it, but we'll get through some more. Maybe on Christmas Eve or something like that, but that'd be kind of fun. Maybe right before Christmas and then right at Christmas Eve. Maybe tomorrow. I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know. But we'll probably stream some other stuff on there, some Pride and Prejudice stuff. Yeah, there's going to be some Pride and Prejudice reads this week. I just do those whenever I kind of can. Probably a lot of nights we'll probably do it. Whenever I can, whenever I have time. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching the stream. Thanks for hanging out with me while I read Lord of the Rings. I love that you guys are just chilling with me, enjoying the read. I need to pimp my Pride and Prejudice channel. What do you mean by that? We're gonna do a book we're just gonna do a book as we go, and then all the classics. So if you want to subscribe to that stream or subscribe to that channel, and then we're gonna just read some books together. And that's all I got. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging. I feel like I got nothing else. I just need to go on a walk and decompress from all that. Yeah, Wes is waiting. He's literally on the bed just looking at me right now. Like, come on, let's go. Click the end stream button. All right, everyone, as always, say goodbye to our fair lady Galadriel. I should change that with Arwen now. I need to change this with Arwen being revealed. You know what I mean? I should probably do that because that's an even greater moment. I love that. All right, guys, have a good night or good day or good afternoon, wherever you're at. Later.